Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stump back for the OPTC video, and in today's video, we're diving back into Treasure Map against Orochi and Conjurer with my updated teams. We're about 24 hours into the event now. Not exactly 24 hours as making this video, but like probably 24 hours when the video actually goes live. And things change. Like, I like to update teams, I like to make things faster, I like to make things a little bit more powerful and whatnot, and obviously you guys give me ideas too, so I'm very appreciative of that. So thank you for everyone that leaves comments. Apologies if I don't get back to everything. Look, having a kid, working, like it's all a lot, but hopefully the teams helped you guys out. The treasure map itself doesn't actually seem that bad. Like it definitely seems to be one of the easier treasure maps that we've had in a little while, which is actually refreshing, because lately treasure map has just been so damn grueling that a lot of players have actually suffered. Now, you do still need Stussy for the intrusion. Like, if you don't have Stussy as a friend captain, you are going to struggle heavily there, but you don't have to fight the intrusion. And I was saying in my other two videos, and I know a lot of people don't like to hear that, but at the end of the day, like, the intrusion is totally up to you. And if you can't find Stussies, just save Stussy for the final boss, and then just beat regular levels. That way you can easily get to the 10 million points. I don't have any of the boosters, and I'm sitting at nav level 22 or something like that, and we're already halfway. Like, it's not too challenging to get to that 10 million points. And at the end of the day, you don't even need to get to the 10 million points. You realistically only need to get the skulls to get the character max out. The rest of the points, it's all just nice stuff for your account. So just be mindful of that when you are playing the game. Just don't play it to the point where you hate it, I guess is the best way to put it. But diving into the intrusion fight, I did make a bit of a change here. I took off Lucario. Now, Lucario was so good for this treasure map, and it sucks because I've taken them off both my intrusion and my final boss team. I'll probably bring them back later if I need more damage, but this is the new intrusion team. That's the team, those supports. Let's dive on in. Basically, what we did was we brought in Crocodile as captain, and then we brought in Zoro over Lucario, so that way we have another 1.35 booster. Literally the only difference to what we did, and we just get extra points. Like, it was just kind of a no-brainer, and it made sense. Shout out to the guy that put the comment on my video. He basically said you don't need Lucario. It works great, and obviously this works exceptionally well for people that don't have the Lucario unit. Like, they're a treasure map legend that everyone should have pretty much skipped. They haven't come back since their initial release, and if you have Big Mom Katakuri, then you're off to the races. You're in for a good time. You don't need the super type of Stussy for this particular stage, so you don't need to bring the two Vegapunk characters, but we have one. Now, if you guys don't have these supports for the bind removal, just replace Zoro, like I said in my initial video, with a character that can remove bind. Kaido and King is a great character that can do it. They're a 1.2 times booster, so not super accessible, and an anniversary exclusive. But then you have like Treasure Map Legend Blackbeard, Carrot, and Nami. Just basically anyone that can remove binds. Like, it's going to work out fine. But the supports we have are Otama on Olin, and then we have the Orochi's Honor with Banshu for 1 turn, 2 turns, and then the Valentine's Nami for the final 2 turns, accompanied with a ship that can remove 1 turn of bind. You are going to be able to easily take down this particular stage. You get a full board of bomb orbs too, but the free-to-play Vegapunk actually makes them matching. You do get a full right side of Wino slots because of Zoro as well. So just be mindful of that. And when you are tapping on the first turn, I would highly recommend removing the Wino orb from your Orochi, Conjurer, and then your Big Mom and Katakuri unit. That way you can actually get some Semler slots, as I just ate there. So that way you heal back up. When you move into the final stage, you're at max HP. And that way you don't have to worry about all the extra shenanigans if you're below 80% HP. Once you move into the final stage, you are going to get, I believe it's like a full board of block or bomb orbs. There's 6 turns of threshold and then 1 turn of special reverse. Also, there's blow away on your middle row or your bottom row, something like that. But look, Kaido and, Big Mom and Katakuri actually take care of that nice and easily with that captain shift that we used on turn 2. Captain shift out to get the base stats once again. Use Crocodile for an attack boost. He gets the cooldowns for the rest of the crew. We have orb boosting shenaniganry with Kaido and... Oh, God, I keep doing that. Big Mom and Katakuri. We have the threshold removal thanks to Orochi and Conjurer. They also give us a little bit of tap timing, which is nice. We have Vegapunk. He also gives cooldowns, but he's going to be our chain booster because, like, we just literally have no other buff that we need. And then we're going to use Stussy to give us the conditional buff for delay. She provides delay. Unfortunately, she gives a defense up buff, which is why, like, Lucario worked so well. But as you guys can see, like, we just have so much damage that, like, it's just such an easy kill. Once you do kill Orochi and Conjurer, they do a 150,000 death hit, so you do need to tank that. I'm using the Mr. 3 support. I have a lot of HP on my team, so if you have investments, you actually don't need any damage reduction support because Crocodile can actually give you damage reduction with his captain ability too. Plus, you can slap on supports that do side damage reduction. So there's like a character, I can't think of one off the top of my head, but there's usually int characters that have like a support that goes on any int character, for example, and it says reduces damage by side by 5%. Like that's going to help out super drastically for that particular stage. I'll try and pull one up for you guys so that way you can actually see it in game, and it'll make a little bit more sense to you that way. So let's just use some of these cards because like, why the hell not? Like, we don't have a 100% chance to get them done anyway. Big downside to obviously not having boosters, and the one thing that I've like drastically hated, oh, we get some stamina. The one thing I've hated not having boosters is not getting the points, but the cards not working. Bro, it's so torture. It's actually torture. So the cards make the treasure map so much more fun. Like, I'm not gonna lie, cards make it so much more bearable to sort of speed farm like levels, and ironically, it only helps like the people that summon for the boosters, which just honestly is kind of backwards mentality. I get that it makes it more desirable to like summon for characters, but yeah, it's such a nice addition, man. If you just have like you have all the boosters and you're popping these cards and you're saving runs, you're doing like disgusting nav levels, the guns, the slingshots, the cannons are just killing mini bosses. You're skipping nav levels with the charts. Like it just it's so nice. But at the end of the day, look, it is what it is, and moving forward, we'll definitely be skipping these treasure map banners. We're going to be skipping the Kazuna banners. I just think we're at a place now where like we literally got information on a Kazuna legend today, and I'm like, I can't keep supporting something that wants to keep throwing legends down our throat when the gem economy doesn't match what they're trying to provide. But look, that was a tangent for another video. And something we'll probably talk about, once again, I'm sure we'll probably get Pappy on the channel for another State of the Game video. I think he wants to do his own video first, and then we can come together as a conglomerate and have a chat about there, or maybe pop up on GGP or something like that. So let's dive into the first mini boss, going up against S-Bear. Basically, you just run a full in team with Zoro. It makes it easy. If you're using Zoro in the final team, though, like there is a Legend Big Mom that you can definitely use. And then, as I mentioned in my other prep videos, you can just run Hiyori as a sub, get a full bottle of Wano orbs, and then just like wave clear shenanigans. But the Zoro, he's so perfect for this particular fight. You can run him as captain, as I rambled on in my last video. And that way you get the auto proc, and you don't have to worry about actually playing the game too much. You just sort of tap, and you don't have to worry about wave clears either. But that does take a little bit longer, so I'm just using Zoro on turn 2, just to make things a little bit faster. You get more points if you want to run double Zoro, just go for it, like no one's stopping you. But for myself, I just find like playing treasure map and the gruelingness of sort of sitting there and waiting when I'm trying to get something done can be a little bit frustrating. And I find it just a little bit better on my mind when I'm playing to just do it this way, so that's just me. Esper doesn't increase HP, so like the 99% attack down from normal attacks, the 10 turns of special reverse, all that jargon that they throw at you, don't worry about it. Just literally have Zoro, have end of turn damage, and you'll basically kill them. It's a free mini boss with a free to play character, and honestly, I love it. I love that they're doing that for these mini boss stages. They've just given us a character and said, hey, if you work for this character, it's going to make this fight so easy, you don't have to think about it, just go for gold. Like, I'm a big fan. I'm a huge fan. Moving on to the S-Shark fight now. This is where I was using Crocodile. But as you can see, I've taken Crocodile off this particular team, and I've moved him over onto our main team because he is a 1.35 booster. And with Nami Karina, you basically take care of the paralysis and all that fun stuff anyway. So what I've done is I've moved Izo Kiku over to this team as well, so that way we get the chain lock. We already have the paralysis movement with Nami, so that's a team. There are no supports, so let's dive on in. Now, again, you guys can throw on supports if you want to. Throwing on supports is basically just going to make you just do more damage. Like, it's just, yeah, like that's pretty much all it's going to do. But we have Zoro for wave clearing, we then have Izo Kiku for wave clearing. They're going to give us that chain lock for 3 turns, allows us to carry it into the final stage, and that way we bypass the attack down below a 3 times chain. There also is like a chain, like tap debuff, paralysis, and burn, but we're going to remove the paralysis with the Nami variant of Nami Karina. Then we can use Koala. Koala's going to heal us up a little bit. You actually get the cooldowns for Hiyori as well, so you actually can get more healing with Hiyori. But as you guys can see there, we have the attack buff from Nami Karina. You have an orb buff from Nami Karina and color vision from Koala. Koala's actually hitting fairly hard, so like if you just hit like a good and then a perfect with Koala, the burn doesn't even matter because like you have enough HP to just do 1 tap. And eventually, when this like fight gets to the point we have so much HP, we're going to be well over 10 million points, and we're not going to be playing treasure map. Like it's just, we're not going to be using treasure Treasure Map. We're not going to be playing Treasure Map at that point, so I don't really care. So that's the speed team that I'm rocking. Plus, you have double drops with Nami Karina, which is always nice as well. Moving on to S Snake now. We are running double Carrot and Neko Inu. Double Carrot Neko Inu actually works really well here, and I did take off... I believe I took off Izo Kiku from this particular team and moved Brook from the other team over here. With that, we actually get ourselves another booster for this particular team. And it's not that we get another booster that makes it, like, awesome. It's the fact that we have another type advantage unit on this particular team. I believe we had Momo. We might have had Momo. I can't remember. Might have been from my other video. I can't really remember off the top of my head. But having the Treasure Map Mihawk helps out here, as he is going to be a type advantage slashing unit. And that way you can do a little bit more damage. Brook is going to wave clear turn 1. We're going to wave clear turn 2. And then we have that Straw Hat Luffy Rare Recruit unit that's going to remove the binds. They give us an attack buff. And then you can use the Carrot and Neko Inu special to remove the attack down and bypass the damage reduction effects on the final stage. Once you go into the dual form of Carrot, Neko Inu, then you're going to bypass them. So if you find a friend captain, just bring the friend captain. You don't have to worry about the 85% HP threshold. Or you can do some fun stuff with like... just the Sulong Cat, Sulong Dog, the regular legends that came out yonks ago. They're all going to work as well. But as you can see, like, the damage is pretty good. It's pretty good. We have a full board of Rainbow Orbs thanks to Shiroshi as well. But you don't really need those Rainbow Orbs. If you want to bring another booster, bring another booster. You just need to use the super swap of Carrot, Neko Inu, and then that way you get a Wano Orb. I just don't want to swap. Like, I'm just at a point where, again, I just want to get these fights done as fast as possible. I don't really care that much about the actual points that I'm gaining. I'm more here for the rewards that I get from killing the actual bosses. All of those shards, all of those chunks of, like, limit break materials, all of that stuff is just, like, gold to me. And I need that for my account because I want to get the max amount of rewards for the most minimal amount of play when it comes to not having the boosters and stuff like that. And look, even when it comes to, like, grinding these grueling modes. So, onto S-Hawk now. We are using Odin, Kinemon, and Denjiro. Another really good character for this is the Anniversary Roger that I used in my previous video. Then you can use stuff like Zoro for wave clearing, you get cooldowns with him. That works out pretty hunky-dory. But utilizing Odin, Kinemon, Denjiro here is just like, it's just free. They're going to turn all of the orbs on the final stage into Wano slots. They give you a chain lock. They also give you increased damage taken. And then with the Momo and... Yamato unit, you actually get the defense up and the special mind removal too. Plus you get the special reverse as long as you have 4 slashes on the team. So as long as you bring like a character that can just bypass special reverse or bypass special binds, this fight's actually really, really easy. Then you just sort of need someone that can remove the defense up and you're good to go. You don't want to have type orbs though, so that's why having Wano orbs is so good here. But as you guys have seen on pretty much all of my teams, like if you bring like Hiyori as a sub, if you bring like Shirahoshi as a sub, it's so easy to bypass that mechanic where it says like attack down if you have type orbs. It's like, that's cool, bro. I'm not using them anyway. I'm using Wano orbs. I'm using Rainbow orbs. I'm using stuff like tandem orbs. Like, it's kind of a no-brainer. But remember with that fight, like, you're obviously going to get orb rotation too quick and to do Dex orbs anyway. Moving on to the final fight now, which is against Luchikaku. The team has changed. It looks like this. The Mr. 3 support isn't actually essential. You actually can get this done without the Mr. 3 support. But I don't know how long this team's actually going to work, provided the second stage doesn't have a HP scaling. If you do not have this particular York, do not stress. You just bring anyone that can trigger the Stussy, super type. And the characters that do that, you actually have quite a few that are boosted. You have Pythagoras and we have Luchikaku for starters. You have Atlas, who's another character, and then you have this Pythagoras and Edison unit, and then as well as the Rare Recruit York. So you guys have options if you guys don't have the Stussy super type available and you don't have the PvP York. Obviously, you're going to get less damage. That's obviously a given. But at the end of the day, it's really not going to matter all that much. As for those other supports that I was talking about, if you go here and you go to support and you go to damage reduction and then you go to like permanent damage reduction, if you have a look at some of these characters, right, it says like reduces damage taken from side by 3%, like reduces damage taken by side by 5%. These particular supports are the ones I was talking about when it comes to taking those death hits. The 50,000 damage, the 150,000 damage on the intrusion will actually get reduced by this because it is actually a side-based hit. So just be mindful of that when you guys are building out your teams and selecting your supports. But as for the final boss fight against Lucci and Kaku, that's the team, those are the supports. Let's dive on in. As I mentioned, if you guys don't have the Mr. 3 support, don't stress. You actually can run this team without it. You just don't captain shift. Simple. Like, you just don't captain shift into Croc and you won't have to worry about it. I'm going to captain shift because it's more damage for turn 2. And then later down the line, if it does become a little bit spicy, we are basically just going to take off Crocodile and just bring back Lucario, and that way we're going to get the damage output that we need. So on turn 1, we're just going to kill these turtles. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bop. And then we can move on to the second stage. If you actually get some Semel slots here, I would recommend keeping them. The Semel orbs are going to bypass the block orbs on stage 2, but I do want to showcase this, because if you get the Intrusion and stuff like that, like, you're obviously not going to have that option. Or to farm them anyway, I should say. So what we're going to do here on turn 2, you get a full water block orbs. We're going to utilize the special of Vegapunk. We're going to select the attack boost for our Cerebral and our Free Spirit characters. We're then going to Captain Shift with Katakuri and Big Mom. If you guys do not have the Mr. 3 support though, you just don't Captain Shift. I want to repeat, do not Captain Shift. We're then going to use our Orochi and Kanjuro special. We don't actually need it on the final stage, so we're going to use it here for some tap timing. And then I'm going to use my York special. York increases the base stats by 750. But if you guys don't have York and you're using, say, Atlas or Pythagoras or the other York, you're basically just selecting Vegapunk's buff depending on whatever character you're using. For example, Atlas, I believe, is an orb booster, or maybe she's an attack booster. Atlas is an attack booster, so then you would just select another buff that isn't obviously orb boosting from Vegapunk as your other option. We do have to break the barrier here. It's 3 good shots, which is a little bit annoying, so just be mindful of that when you are doing your taps. And I don't know if the HP scales. It might scale. Like I said, it might get higher and higher and higher. Let me know in the comment section below if you are a Treasure Map stan and you actually know the answer to that. But once it does hit those particular thresholds, that is a problem. I'm just going to switch out to Lucario, man. I don't know what to tell you. Switch out to Lucario, bring some Despair supports, pop the Big Mom Katakuri special there, call it a day, and then I have less damage on the final stage. That's fine, because I got to get to the final stage to be able to beat the quest anyway. On the final stage, there's Despair. Your top row gets special reverse. That's where the Mr. 3 support is so clutch. But again, remember, if Crocodile's in your captain, he has the special reverse Sailor ability, so he's just going to bypass that anyway. So with this team, though, we have more damage because we can then captain shift back in, get the base stats from Big Mom Katakuri with the attack boost and the chain boundary thanks to Crocodile. He gives us that 1 turn of cooldown as well. Big Mom and Katakuri are going to rotate the orbs into Semler slots, so that way we bypass the block orbs. And then we have the super type of Stussy to apply poison, and her special to give us a conditional against delay. Easy peasy stuff, right? Attack boost, orb buff. You can slap on a color affinity support as well. Conditional boosting, and you're just off to the races. So as you can see, it's a lot of damage. And wham bam, thank you, man. That is the Treasure Map run. So still getting it done quite nicely. Fairly simply as well. Again, this Treasure Map isn't too challenging. And hopefully the videos that I put out helped you guys get it done if you haven't done any summons like myself. Or if you just skip the 10.5 anniversary all and you don't have stuff like Big Mom and Katakuri. The Big Mom Katakuri is like the big one that sort of changed from the no 10.5 anniversary characters to the video that we put out there. So we're already halfway to the 10 million points. We should get there fairly easily. I haven't spent a single gem on Stamina 2. I do want to make that very, very clear. So look, Treasure Maps, I feel like in a really good spot right now. If they keep making Treasure Maps like this one, I feel like I'm very okay with the Treasure Map game mode. It is by far the best return of investment for what your time you put into it. And hopefully you guys are gaining something from it as well. But remember, don't play to the point where you hate the game. But let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. While you're down there, bell like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Let's